I'm still getting comments on my response to Dendrophilian's video. If you watch the video to which mine is a response, you'll understand more about what I'm talking about. Many of you have asked, what age child are you talking about? If you watch the video, the child used as an example in that was, I think, a boy of about 7 or 8. And that's the age group I'm talking about then. Another thing is that many of you have said, well, that I'm describing rape. I contend that a child cannot appropriately consent to sex, and I'll tell you why. First off, there's a concept that children are, by definition, not adults. They're immature. Adults are mature, at least physically. Children are immature and still developing. And I'm beginning to think that developmental psych should be required for anybody who's going to deal with anybody. Children, of course, but just anybody, because it really helps to know what we are and how we work. And that's what developmental psych will do. There are stages of development, physical, mental, emotional, social, that children go through. And I'm going to use 2 examples, one of which is math. This type of development and this way of developing is a lot like math in that the later ability to achieve, or later competencies, are achieved by mastering the early competencies or the early information. Like math, you don't wake up at 4 and just go out and do calculus. You have to learn the numbers, the quantities, and then you learn how to add the quantities together and subtract them from each other, and then you can move on to multiplication. And likewise, children going through these stages have to build on the earlier stages to successfully be able to do the later things like sex, which is advanced. It's an advanced relationship. It's an advanced experience. And someone might say, well, what about children who can do calculus at 10? Well, that's a mental competency. That's a mental thing. Whereas sex requires a high level of maturity, an advanced level of maturity, physically, mentally, emotionally, and socially, to have a satisfying experience. Children, the age that Dendrophilian mentioned, simply don't have that. Now, there are stages. For example, I'm going to use a second example, which is egocentrism. It's not egotism. It's a stage, egocentrism, in which the child cannot see anything physically, if not mentally or emotionally, from another person's point of view. If you sit the child down and show them a mountain range that goes like this, okay, and then you sit across from them and ask them to tell you how you're seeing the mountain range, they're going to say, like this, because they can't understand that it's flipped from your point of view. They're not able to do that. Now, what they can do is, if you tell them the answer, they can mimic it. And when you ask them, well, how does the other person across from you see it, they can, give you the answer that you've told them, but they don't understand why, and they don't understand how. They just know that that's what you said, and that giving you that answer makes you happy. And children will do that with sex. If you give them the response that you want, they can give that to you, but they don't know what's behind it. They don't understand it. In a sexual situation, without understanding what's behind it, that's sick and inappropriate and harmful to the child. And it's really sad to see children that have had that happen, that have been taken out of the stage where they are and thrown into this advanced sexual experience. The uncertainty, the insecurity that causes at being out of their element and not having the resources and the abilities to be able to be comfortable and to understand completely what's going on, they become very insecure, and because they don't understand why they're doing what they're doing, they don't understand what to do next. They look to the person who's abusing, I call it abuse, who's introducing them to this, for what to do. And that makes them easy to control and to manipulate, and therefore to use, but it's very unhealthy for the child. And as they grow older, they continue to just know they're supposed to act a certain way, know they're supposed to look a certain way, but they don't understand why. And this fear and uncertainty hardens into a weary disgust and a weary misery of just a boredom, of just doing these things they don't understand what's behind it. And they become frustrated, and they become angry, and they become angry and frustrated adults because they've skipped the stages and they don't have the foundation on which to build mature, understanding relationships, or mature relationships that they understand. And this is why we have therapists. People who help people understand, A, that they've missed a step, B, what that step consists of, and C, how to integrate that step into the unique person that they are and their own unique lives and experience. And even at older ages, like 12 to 17, when the child is physically mature or more mature, here's where they, around 15 to 17, they enter before that they're immature socially and emotionally, but even at 15 to 17, they enter this narcissistic stage. And this is healthy at this age. You need to come out of it eventually, but at a certain age, you need to be focused on yourself and who you are, finding out who you are and what you want to be and how to become what you want to be. And this is appropriate at this stage, but not a good place to try to have a sexual relationship, because who you are and what you want to have a satisfying experience. So I'm going to reiterate that children develop in stages, mentally, physically, emotionally, and socially. There are age-appropriate stages and times when they go through these stages, and to rush them through that, it causes harm. And to make them skip stages, it makes a shaky foundation for the rest of their lives and for their sexual experiences in the future.